First impressions are everything, and that begins with how you look on Strava. First, I'll be sure to round up on my mileage. If my run doesn't end on an even number or an established race distance like 13.1, I'll be sure to run loops of the parking lot to round up. Why would I stop at 7.92 miles when my Strava feed could show I ran 8 miles? As serious runners, we love round numbers or numbers that end in 5. After all, it's not a 6.2 mile race, it's a 10K. Even so-called ultra-marathon runners will hike and eat their way through a 50K and then a 100K, but switch to miles for their 100-miler. Second, don't forget the Strava tax. For some reason, Strava will sometimes subtract 0.01 miles from what your watch says, so it's best to stop at 8.01 miles. Third, you may have heard that immediately after a session you should stretch or get down a recovery drink. Yes, those things are important, but first, you have to update your Strava post. I know that my followers are eagerly waiting to see what kind of epic workouts I'm crushing. So it's imperative that I do that before anything else. I'll be sure to add a humble brag title and some excuses in the description and maybe a photo or two. When people are checking you out on Strava, you can't assume that they're gonna click into your activity and look at your splits. So what you want to do is make sure that your workout looks as impressive as possible in the feed. One way to do this is to separate the warm-up and the cool-down as separate activities. If you ran your tempo miles at sub-6 pace, but the warm-up and the cool-down are in the same activity, it's gonna look like you ran 730 miles. Similarly, when you're doing track work, do not record the recoveries. When you're crushing 200s at sub 5-minute pace or doing 400s in less than 80 seconds, you want that to show up in the feed. If you do a lot of reps, the Strava activity will show something like 5 miles at 5:10 pace, which I can't actually do unless I omit all the recoveries. I'll just hope that people don't look at the elapsed time. Finally, if you're running with a friend and you're running at their pace and it would be embarrassing for your followers to see how slow you're running, be sure to note that. Title the activity a social run or that you're just catching up with that friend. And as a bonus flex, go run a double later in the day just so that everybody knows that running with your friend really didn't take effort. It was kind of like walking the dog. I hope that these tips have been helpful. And I hope that Strava rewards me with one of those verified athlete badges. Yeah, that would be a huge flex.